Okay, the first thing we're going to do to create a little bit more movement on your board is we're going to explore the ranges of motion that you have. So if you find a flat spot, the first thing I want you to do is just see how flexed you can get and how extended you could get to figure out what that range of motion is. Then the second range of motion is moving this way. So we're going to lean way far on one side and way far on the other side. And once you get this, then we're going to try this while we're moving down the hill as well. The next thing to try is we're going to try a hop. We're not going to do ollies quite yet. We're going to do a hop first. So a hop comes from a flat base on the snowboard, and it comes from a really flexed position when you hop up. And when you land, you got to make sure to land nice and soft as well with a flat board. So this is going to give you the best balance when you hop and when you land. Another thing you can try are butters. So once you get your range of motion figured out and you start moving and balancing on your board, what we're going to do is we're going to get flexed, and I want you to see if you can keep your head still and slide the board underneath you. And then if you want, since I'm goofy, I'm going to do a tail press now. I'm going to slide the board all the way to the tail so that the nose lifts up off the snow. That's a tail press. Now you can do this while you're sliding down the hill in a flat run, not too much speed, but the goal is to keep the snowboard flat on the snow the whole time to maintain a better balance. And you can do that on the nose as well. So you can do the same thing, slide the board underneath you till you stand on the nose, and just see if you can lift that tail up and stay in balance. Once you can hop and do a tail press and a nose press, and you've kind of explored your range of motion while you're sliding down the hill, then we're going to do an ollie. So an ollie is kind of combining all those movements. We're going to get nice and flexed. We're going to slide from our front foot to the back foot. We're going to extend the back foot, and that's going to pop us up into an ollie. So it's going to look like this. Now notice when I hop up, I let my legs come up. When I land nice and soft. You can do a big ollie, or you can do a little ollie. This movement is a key movement for freestyle moves, and it's going to help you with boxes, rails, jumps, and basically everything from here on out. So now we're going to go give this a try on the run. We're going to try a couple hops. Your first job is to find a really flat slope, kind of like this, and start sliding down the hill with a flat base and a nice flex stance. Then all you're going to do is do a little hop, and your goal is to take off and land very flexed and relaxed. So it's going to look like this. Then you're going to control your speed and do a second. Once you've done a couple hops pretty comfortably and you're being able to maintain your balance throughout those hops, then we can do the same setup, but with an ollie. So an ollie is the same, except for now, instead of just going straight up with 2 feet and down, we're going to slide the board underneath us a little bit, extend the back leg, and then land on 2 feet. And then control your speed. Once you can do hops and ollies on flat ground without kind of worrying about falling or anything like that, then you can start to pick out little things to jump over and aim for. So for example, we can go jump over that little lump of snow, we can jump over that tree, anything that's not scary, but it gives you a target to kind of jump and aim for. So these targets can just be mounds of snow, or they could be lines in the snow, or they could be shadows on the snow, or they could be tiny bushes, anything that's not too anxiety driven, right? Then once you're super comfortable with that, we're going to start looking for just natural jumps. And here we have a lot of snow. So there's a lot of just tiny little whoopies in the snow. And your job is to go find that and see if you can just jump over them just a little bit, not with a lot of speed, but see if you can get that timing of the hop and the ollie correct so that you get to be in the air and then you get to land nice and soft. Then after you land, then we're going to want to control your speed. Another thing we're going to work on is called flatland 360s, which is where we keep the board relatively flat and we kind of spin in a circle. And we can spin this way both directions, and this is going to get you working towards riding switch comfortably. So here's the first one. Since I'm goofy, I'm going to start with a heel side turn. So I'm going to go straight down the hill. I'm going to turn to my heel side, look over my right shoulder, and do a full circle. Then I'm going to do it the opposite way. So we're going to start with the normal toe side. Then I'm going to look over my left shoulder and do a full circle. The board is pretty flat. I'm just barely twisting it and tilting it to keep a nice balanced base on the snow and get a feel for where my edges are. And once you do a couple of these and you're really comfortable, you can start riding switch. So a nice flat run without a lot of speed, flat base. You're just going to lean back, see if you can lift up the nose. You're going to control your speed. This one's a bit harder.